And a big miscue for Dale Earnhardt Jr. He is pitted just past the start-finish line. It appears he could not get into his pit and will have to go around and come back in for service.
And he will have to come back in. And there you see Peels off in the 3rd position, coming down the pit road, following Kyle Busch in the 18 car. Now he should be about 10 pits away right there. And there you see, he knew immediately. And I can't help but think to Jeff Hammond's keys to this race. Don't beat yourself, especially on pit road.
You know, I don't understand this. He's had trouble in the pits in the qualifying race, had trouble in the pits today. I'm not sure what's going on.
Let's go downstairs for an AT&T race break.
Well, Jeff, you said don't beat yourself, talking about some of the points, the keys going into this race, and that was one of those cases.
That's one of those cases. Just you can't win a Daytona 500 if you start making those kind of mistakes, and that's one that could come back to haunt him.
How about the speed of this race so far? What have you noticed?
Up until this caution flag right here, we were on a record pace, 161 miles an hour average laps. I mean, they were really getting up there, and again, you don't normally see that. I think with the last 4 races have been nowhere near as close as this.
Is weather a part of that?
I think so. I think a lot of these guys realize that we might be fighting with some weather, so they want to keep their nose clean and just try to get out there and put some laps down. And remember, the Daytona 500 the previous 2 years has been settled on the last lap, not at the halfway point.
All right, let's take a look at Junior as he goes into the stall here.
Yeah, he gets on the hits his mark that time, but again, this team of his right now know that they're going to wind up at the back of the pack, Chris, and this is what you don't want. A little bit of a problem right there on the right rear, but the main thing is he's got to fight his way through the pack, and he don't need to be doing that.
Let's check in with Dick Bergman.
Well, he just plain missed his pit. Simple as that. And he's going to be in the back, as you said. They've also got some problems with the car. The engine is running a bit hot. They're at 230 degrees and climbing just a little bit. They did adjust the chassis to try to take a push out of it. Chris? They counted Junior down. He is parked in his pit. The right front tire is over the line. Steve?
Now they're going to hold that 88 car.
They are.
Because they went ahead and made the pit stop at that right front tire on the line. Second mistake of the day for that group.
And about the 4th this week.
The line is out of bounds. The right rear is the only tire allowed to be on or over the line. Here's Junior coming in, and he's way outside where the signboard was, and you see the official motioning. You're not in the box. So you will sit there and serve a penalty.
One lap.
Yikes.
And all of those cars are cars that had made green flag stops prior to that caution. Boy, Brian Vickers, Dale Earnhardt Jr., that ain't going to work, boys.
Vickers hard. Here we go. Busch, the dominant car of the day, in the wall.
That was wrong.
And 10 cars sliding, slamming into the infield.
Jimmy Johnson, totally uncalled for. Totally.
I don't care who you are. That was just wrong.
Caution is out. McMurray was a contender. He's all torn up. And the dominant car of the day, that of Kyle Busch, is a victim of this pileup. Let's look first from the DirecTV blimp.
This is the result of a driver that's a little frustrated.
All right, there's Brian Vickers. There's Dale Earnhardt Jr. in the 88 right up there at the front on the inside. Coming off 2 down the back straightaway. Junior gets a good run.
Vickers puts a little block on him. And then you be the judge.
Let's reiterate the rule. You are not allowed to advance your position below the yellow line. If you are forced below the yellow line, you must come back up and blend in.
Vickers puts the block on him, and then Junior just turns right back into the racetrack, right in the left rear, Brian Vickers.
Saw a similar situation like that yesterday in the nationwide race.
And the results are a good 8 to 10 race cars torn up.
Now Vickers makes a legal move coming down to block Dale Jr. But instead of blending in, Junior caught the back end of Vickers' Toyota. And of all the cars in that crash, you have to feel for Kyle Busch. He had led 88 laps, far more than anyone else today, but his number 18 is junk.
Just all of this uncalled for, mainly with 75 laps to go in this race.
Let's ride with Junior.
Gonna push you. On the bottom, 3 wide. 2 outside, 2 outside there. Go low, go low, go low. There you go, good job.
Jimmy Johnson's view.
Outside, no help. Out, in and out, in and out, in and out. Guys, be ready with our splitter hardware.
With Denny Hamlin.
There's a big pile up back there, Mike.
And finally, here's what Digger saw.
Both of the Gibbs cars were involved, Denny Hamlin as well. And I guess, Darrell, what I would say, putting a block like that on someone with 75 laps to go, I don't know that I agree with that, but that I don't agree with a car just turning off the below the line, just turning in the left rear of another car.
No, that's the thing I didn't like. I mean, yeah, Vickers put a big move on Dale Jr. and that's legal. You can do that, and that's why we have a double yellow line back there. What I think was a misjudgment, if you want to call it that, was when Junior came up and clipped the back of the 83.
Could be a lot of
that could have been avoided.
Could have been a lot of frustration on his part for what's been a bad day.
Contributing factor to this big pileup. If you're wondering why Brian Vickers aggressively blocked Dale Earnhardt Jr., both those cars were 1 lap down.
Right.
They were both trying to stay in the free pass position if another caution came out. Ordinarily, you might not race each other that hard at this point in the race.
Exactly.
But Vickers is trying to either get back on the lead lap or stay in the lucky dog position. He ended up very unlucky.
And it's easy enough to blame Junior, but Junior was probably trying to just squeeze right back in behind Vickers and not lose any more time than he needed to. But that was just a bad call, a bad move on his part.
Who did get the free pass? There is none, because the driver who would have been eligible was involved in the wreck. No free pass.
We saw a similar incident yesterday in the Nationwide race. Jason Leffler tried to squeeze in behind Little Wallace, and he clipped him and turned him in the fence.
73 laps to go. What'll happen next? Matt?
Mike, we've caught up with Kyle Busch making his way back to the hauler. What happened?
Not real sure. Just, you know, some guys having some bad days and not doing their best out there. Just made their bad day our bad day, and, you know, we had a problem. So it's just a shame, you know, that M&M's Toyota was so strong today and led all those laps and was running up front. Just playing with my teammate there and had a great time. Just unfortunate that, you know, 2 guys got together that were a lap down that were fighting over nothing.
All right, thank you, Kyle.
Yep.
Dick Bergeron?
How disappointing is it right now?
Jamie McMurray sits in his car in the garage. Mechanics have a lot of work to do. One of the brackets that holds the steering onto the car has torn loose from the chassis. Jamie, you had such a good day, ran in 4th spot all day, but it's over. What did it look like to you inside the car?
I'm not real sure. You can't really see anything except for the guys in front of you, and the line just wouldn't go. And you know, I was getting run into from the back, and I'm hitting the guy in front of me, and it looked like someone got spun around the front. But it was a really good day for the Crown Royal Ford Fusion. It you know, it drove really well. Really awesome horsepower that we had this weekend from Yates and all those guys. Just you know, sometimes it's not your day.
He thought he could win the race, Krista.
From work in the garage to work on pit road, Kyle Busch's teammate Denny Hamlin and the FedEx Toyota team going to work. They say the guts are okay, meaning the steering, the suspension. It's the cosmetic and aesthetic damage. You see the team working there. Car chief Chris Gillen trying to add some braces, some splitter braces for support, and they're also worried the motor's running just a little bit hot.